Welcome to the drivers' press conference ahead of the 2019 Russian Grand Prix. Danny, if we could start with you, please. You said after the Singapore Grand Prix that you struggled with the car. What were the issues and how confident are you that you can bounce back here this weekend?
It was a specific Grand Prix. I mean, I wouldn't really say I struggled a lot with the car, but I skipped FP3. Then in quali, going straight into Q1, just maybe didn't put the best lap in because I didn't have much reference. Then once you start from there, it's harder on the street circuit. And then the race, was a bit messy. Some moves, I was getting a bit stuck behind people when I had fresher tires. This year usually was good for me. Then in Singapore maybe wasn't as good. But my mirrors were foggy, so I couldn't really fight with people properly. And then, the race was just difficult, to be honest. We had contact with Kimi, but it was at that point my race already wasn't looking very good. So, but I was still in contention for maybe a point. But it was a difficult race all in all, and they sometimes happen, and sometimes they're necessary.
Lance, if we could come on to you, please. Big update package for Racing Point in Singapore. How effective was it?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early days. I think on paper it looked quite positive. We were quite competitive throughout the weekend. Qualifying was a struggle on my part with gaps and stuff in Q1. So we had a bad qualifying on Saturday, but then in the race the pace looked better. We were, it was just a messy weekend all in all for both cars. Sergio had a technical issue in the race, so he had to stop, and I was looking good up until I clipped the wall on my second stint and I got a puncture. So it was a messy weekend, but I think there's still a lot to come, and early signs are good with the upgrade. Things are looking positive, but it's about really unlocking it to its full potential.
Kevin, if I could come to you now, please. Are you starting to make progress with your car? Do you understand the car now?
I think it's a pretty ongoing process, and I think it's much more important to understand what's gone wrong with this car than to try and come up with quick fixes, because I think it's not lost this year at all, but it's better to focus for next year and try and get as ready as we can, and have as much confidence in correlations and stuff like that to produce a better product for next year, rather than desperate way try to fix this year's car, because I think that's probably going to be a little bit difficult. So the focus is more on different experiments with different packages. It's a little bit frustrating because obviously we'd all prefer to just be maximum, flat out trying to perform the best we can, which of course we are, but at the same time we are spending a lot of energy on experiments.
Kimi, if I could come to you now, please. Frustrating race for you in Singapore. Different kind of street track here with longer straights. How confident are you of having a better weekend?
Never know really, but I think it should be better for us. Hopefully it is. I think Singapore, some points it felt pretty okay, mainly not, but I think maybe our car is not the best over the bumps and things that you need for Singapore, but let's see how it comes, but would expect to be a bit better here.
Better because of the smooth track surface, or better because of the Ferrari power unit? Why do you think it's better?
Just track layout and how the surface is and everything, but I might be wrong as well, hopefully not. But hopefully we have a bit more smoother weekend and a bit more speed. So, yeah.
Valtteri, thank you for waiting. Coming to you now. Now you have a great record here. First win, 2017. Pole last year, looking good for the win until that didn't happen. Why are you so quick here? And how much confidence does your record give you coming into the weekend?
Yeah, for sure it gives confidence to come into a weekend when you know previously it's been one of the good tracks for you. So that's obviously a nicer way to start a weekend, but in every case always you start from zero. Every season, every track changes a little bit, every car is always different every year. So setup, everything is different. So you're starting from zero, but for sure with a good mindset coming here, knowing that it's been good in the past. And I don't know, just from since the first year coming here, found a good flow on the track, and haven't really had many kind of problematic corners or anything. So being on the pace, but obviously there's always things I can do better this year than I did last year, and that will be the aim.
You say you're coming here with a good mindset, but there must have been, tell me if I'm wrong, frustrations after being told by the team to effectively hold station in Singapore last weekend during the race. What's been said since then?
Well, that first of all, that was last weekend. I'm not thinking about that anymore coming to this weekend. But if you want to talk about it, I can't go into details. Obviously, we always review everything by the finest detail with the team. And I was at the factory on Tuesday. We had meetings about that, and that will keep, just for us, whatever we've spoken about it. But yeah, we have certain rules, both ways. They're equal. That's how it goes, but just need to make sure I'm not going to be in that kind of situation again.
Next year, the racing calendar is expanding, and by 2021, predictive in most stages. What do you think about this trend? And will not lose stages their value due to the increase? This question to all drivers.
I think it's a difficult question for me. It's obviously the biggest problem probably is the team, the mechanics, all those guys are working very hard already, so it would be pretty tough for a lot of people in the team. And I don't know if it's gonna make it less valuable each race in terms of viewers and all that sort of stuff. Probably can see why it would, but it's not a area I'm an expert, so don't really know.
Yeah, I think still, if it's just one more next year, it's not too bad. Obviously, it is, like Kevin said, hard work for many of the team members, doing so much work between the races as well. And there's going to be a limit for sure at some point. I don't know in detail after how many races that would come, but I think we can still do one more. But obviously, yeah, we'll see. It's okay so far.
It wasn't bad when it was 18 races, but let's see how it goes when the championship goes to more races. For sure, we'll have to find the limit by touching it. So
I don't know. I mean, it depends really where we go. If we race in Europe, I don't mind, but it's obviously much easier for everybody. But obviously, it's nice to race on new tracks, hoping that they're good ones for racing. But we'll see. Usually, it's a habit to keep changing races, and some come and some go, and never know really until we get there. So.
More than 22 races is probably a lot. It's a lot for the whole team. But from what I understood, it's balanced out with some testing days. So it's nicer to be racing than testing.